Hi everyone, Simon Kenny here, Friday 30th of November. Thanks again for watching weatherweb.net. The site's kept free of charge by you coming back and using the site, using the charts, and telling your friends about it as well. And also by viewing the adverts and using the adverts, that's what generates the revenue. That all keeps us free of charge, so thank you for doing that. We've got a bit of a cold pattern out there just at the moment, and the weather is kind of in a bit of a tipsy-topsy mood. It doesn't really know which way to go, although I do think that we're going to be leaning more into the near normal to cooler than normal temperatures during the next week to 10 days, although with some milder bursts in between. This is the chart for today, and you can see how we've got a general north to northwesterly flow through the country, increasing cloud out towards the west thanks to a little area of low pressure which is just bringing bits and pieces of rain down western coast and also for northern western parts of Scotland. Now through the course of this evening and overnight we'll have some clear skies to the south, another quite icy night over parts of southern and eastern parts of the UK, more persistent rain for northern and western parts of Scotland, and that rain just edged its way southwards, you can see there, through the course of the morning tomorrow. Now we need to watch this because as this comes south and it goes over the cooler conditions, as it heads south we could find some icy roads. So for tomorrow then, quite a breeze down these eastern coasts with a few showers there. More southern areas tending to see cloud increasing with a few showers later on, but generally brighter out towards the west. But a cool day once again. Overnight into Sunday we find the skies clear, a widespread and quite severe frost, and then Sunday looks to be a cold day. We've got increasing cloud coming in from the west associated with this front, but what's going to happen is that with this ridge of high pressure out towards the east we're going to find perhaps some fog patches forming across these eastern parts of England, and basically that risk of fog looks as if it could be in there for much of the day on Sunday for some places down these eastern coasts, although it will always be rather patchy, so a cold day to come. Rain out towards the west will be slipping its way eastwards, and it should actually make some progress east during the night, although I think it could bring some sleet or snow to the hills of Scotland and northern England as it moves east. So quite a wet end to the night and a milder one too, but the rain will be clearing away from eastern coast by Monday morning, low pressure moving into Scotland. Then we find a more unsettled day for Monday. We got heavy showers affecting western parts of Scotland and perhaps the northwest of England, but for many the day should actually be drier and brighter but quite breezy. The low then crosses Scotland through Monday into Tuesday, brings some rain which will turn to sleet and snow over the high ground of Scotland, possibly even down to lower levels, and again possibly even at lower levels it moves into the southern uplands and northern parts of England during the early part of Tuesday morning. It's going to be bringing some pretty strong winds as well. You can see the isobars close together there and some showers out towards the east. Need to just watch that feature. It does have the potential to produce some wintry conditions for a time. I think particularly it's kind of in this sort of area where we see the main risk of anything wintry. Then through Tuesday, low clears away to the east. We've got some showers towards the north and the west once again. For more eastern and southern areas, those should be dry. It'll be cold again. And then for Wednesday, looks as if we go into more of a north to northwesterly flow. Some showers down these eastern coasts, but for many, dry with some sunny spells. I think through Thursday, cloud and rain will be moving in, or rather overnight into Thursday, cloud and rain moving into the west of Scotland. For many areas, dry with a frost forming. And then by Thursday morning, we have this little plunge of cloud and rain moving through Scotland into northern England. And again, this is right on the edge of being sleet or snow. I think it will be snow over high ground. Low levels, it's more sort of sleety, but again could lead to some really icy roads where they're untreated. Further south should be drier, I think, bright, with this low slipping down the north. Again, we need to watch this feature for the potential of it bringing something wintry down these eastern coasts. Low confidence on it because of the detail at the moment, but we just need to be watching that one again, and pretty cool. And then it's this feature out towards the west that we need to be watching as we head towards the end of the week. You see high pressure building to the north, but this low just zips its way eastwards. Now the GFS wants to build the high. It's a very strong on this of high pressure building at the end of this week and an easterly flow coming through, but I have to say I'm not convinced by that. I think the GFS probably holds true until about here, and then it goes a little bit AWOL. So this is the charts for when this is Friday of next week. I think then what we need to do is just to look at the ECMWF and see how that evolves things. You see what the ECM, or rather let's just take a look at both. This is a 7 to 10 day mean. We've got the ECMWF on the left here, we've got the GFS on the right, and this is the 7 to 10 day mean. the anomalies of the heights of the mean for the period running from next Friday through to Monday the 10th. And notice how both have got this higher than normal height out in the Atlantic look, but the GFS making far more of it, linking that ridge through to the ridge across northern parts of Asia and the ridge out in the Pacific as well, and a real ring there, look, of higher than normal heights, really all the way over to the States, isn't it there? The ECMWF, you notice, breaks it up more. It kind of puts one in there, it puts one sort of in here, and then it puts another area of higher height in here. Now, it may be that we're just seeing a reflection here of something to do with the resolution of the models, but it's just interesting to see this little difference between the two, because that could make all the difference in terms of conditions. At the moment, I'm favouring this idea of the ECMWF, which builds the heights above normal out in the Atlantic, lowers the heights down through Central Europe, and the effect of this is, as this ridge builds north, it brings more of a northerly flow down through the UK. So this is why I'm going to go excuse me, at the moment with the ideas of the ECMWF. And you notice what this does. This is the chart for midnight on Sunday. Look, it builds the ridge in from the west during the course of Sunday. Notice that ridge collapsed down into Europe on Monday, and then we get more into this sort of west-northwesterly flow coming in from the Atlantic. But look, another ridge building out in the west here in the western Atlantic, and what you find is that ridge just continues to build northwards as we head in towards the middle part of the week. So there it is again. Look, here is our ridge, but this little complication is being thrown in there, and this has been something that's been picked up. This is the remnants of a tropical storm that tries to get into the flow. Look, you'll notice if we go back a couple of days, here it is southwest of the Azores, and just watch the evolution of that. Look, it moves north, it gets into the ridge, and it kind of continues to push the ridge north, but it really disrupts the flow. So what it then sees excuse me, towards the end of the week, is it builds this ridge further, which is what we saw on the 10-day, deepens the trough out into Europe, look, and then just spills the ridge back east through the British Isles by the end of the forecast period. It loses it, and then what we have happen is our trough up to the north here picks up this cold pool down to the south, runs with it as we get towards a week on Sunday, picks up the trough out towards the west, and then runs it eastwards through the British Isles. And this to me looks at a reasonable solution to this problem. So what it would suggest is that at the end of next week we probably go back briefly into a colder flow from the north and the northeast. Then we find a weak ridge building through, which isn't going to be a particularly cold area of high pressure, but it may well bring quite widespread fog at the end of next week into the early part of the weekend. Then we go into more of a milder, brisker southerly flow, which brings rain into the east. That destabilises conditions, pushes rain eastwards in the flow, and could bring some pretty hefty bursts of rain to the west and the south, although at the moment I don't think as we've been seeing recently. And then look, it builds another ridge out in the Atlantic, ready for this cold flow to try and come back southeastwards. Now, I still stick with my ideas. I'm not going to flip-flop every day, you know, we'll see if they're right, of these milder conditions coming in 7th to the 9th, which is what we've looked at, and it looks like temperatures are rising, and then probably going colder again after the 16th or 17th. But remember, middle of the month, I said I still thought temperatures would be around or just below normal, so we're still on the cool side, but it would be the end of the month before we see any real change, and that's where I think we're going to go with things at the moment. I don't really see any reason to be changing that particularly. We're getting some sort of backup coming through from the models. This is the latest city temperature forecast for London from the GFS, and you see on here we normal levels. So there is some evidence there that these temperatures are going to be holding at these levels after that kind of brief and mild spell, and I think this is where we'll go with it for now. Notice that rainfall figures look late on, yeah, they're there, but they're not entirely wet. So although we're talking about rain, I don't want to think we're kind of back to where we were. Okay, so for that, thank you for watching. We get the JMA forecast, the Japanese forecasting, during today, so we'll do an update on that later on. That'll give us more of an idea of how the month ahead shapes up. But for now, thanks for watching. Don't forget the site to get free of charge by you coming back and using it by using the adverts around the screen. So thank you for doing that, and thanks for watching. Keep the sun shining. Bye for now.